Everyone in the service industry has a story, crazy customers, wild orders, and WTF moments. Do you want to start a tab? The podcast here to bring you those tales from behind the bar. My name's Carl, and that's who I am today.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm Riley, and I guess that's who I am today.
I love throwing you curveballs. That's really what I try to do every time, just see what
Why do you try to like meet him where he's at and kind of go insane?
Sometimes he's like, I've been bartending for 13 plus years. And I was like, I bartended for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then, so every time I kind of feed off of what he says, but then he gave me nothing today.
Crumbs of a conversation to develop. Perfect. You did well.
Thanks.
Yes.
I tried.
And on today's podcast, we have another guest. This is going to make it 5 weeks in a row. It's been a hot minute since we've done 5 in a row, if any. I don't even know anymore. We are.
Anyway.
Yeah.
61.
53.
53,
but close.
okay.
Close. And is it Nacole or Nacole?
It's Nacole.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I should have asked you this before we started.
Yeah, no, it's fine. A lot of people say Nacole.
And I knew that wasn't right, but.
Mm-hmm. I just let that one slide because it's fun. But yep, Nacole.
Nacole.
Mm-hmm.
But how are you doing today?
Super.
We've known each other now for, 2-3 years, I think now.
Mm-hmm.
You are a fellow bartender here in Dubuque, Iowa. Give someone who doesn't know you a quick 30-second intro.
Okay. So I manage a fun little whiskey bar. I have a lot of freedom within that. I kind of got lucky with the owners being super fun loving and really open to all the creative ideas I bring to the table. So I'm really fortunate that way because I've grown a lot in the last year working for them.
Yep.
And prior to that, I was at a bar, which you did ask me to come kind of armed and locked and loaded with a story.
Mm-hmm.
And today I kind of put it to the side, didn't think much of it. And I was taking like a rinse off in the shower and I was like, that's the story.
That's the story.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the story. And it's about the previous place that I worked at. And I probably won't even name the place because whatever. But that's where I met Riley as well. So
Yes.
you know what I'm talking about. And prior when I was there, I was a manager and it was a fun and it was a learning experience in its own right. But I was kind of always just stuffed in my own little frustration shell. So this has been like, a cottonseed opening. I've just been really fortunate to be where I am now. So
Yep. It kind of sucks that that's how it's to be because like in Dubuque, we don't have a lot of places that you can make cocktails and have your own freedom and stuff like that. And if they just kind of like trust the process, it's just like, let's do like, we're here to help you because we want to make money and we're not here to fuck you over.
Right.
Unless I had a bunch of money, then I didn't care, but it's also whatever. So,
and thankfully Dubuque has finally opened up and embraces the cocktail, the price of the cocktail, the experience of the cocktail, the entire gamut of, the cocktail. So that's cool.
We're getting there and that's what's exciting. Someone's asked me like, why don't you move to Chicago or Minneapolis? I'm like, it's actually kind of cool living in a city where we're on the forefront and there's like a small group of us who are like leading that charge, And so, yeah. So what we do here on this lovely little podcast is we read stories off the internet, talk about them. Should have been handled differently. Was it handled correctly? Is there an asshole? Is there a hero? And then we rate that story 1 through 5, 1 being your average story, 5 being a unique situation where we've never seen before.
Right.
And then we are adults who work in the bartending industry or have.
Right.
And we like to drink.
Yes.
And today, Nacole brought us over some tequila. What'd you bring over us today?
It is Astral Blanco tequila from Jalisco, Mexico. We all agreed that it's decent.
Mm-hmm.
It was about $36 at Hy-Vee in Dubuque, Iowa.
Yep.
I chose something I'd never had before, hoping it wasn't shit.
Casamigos.
Correct. Yep. I almost said it.
We'll call out brands on here.
What are the rules? Tell me if there's rules.
The only rules is whatever you want to.
Okay,
you can cuss. You can call out old jobs. If you don't want to call out old jobs, that's fine. Because usually we'll know what you're talking about anyways. So what's funny is she'll send me random links of Louis.
I love Louis.
Yeah, we're friends with him. Like I have his phone number.
Oh, that's so
like
cool.
we've done videos.
He's my fave.
Not together,
we're
but
internet friends.
When he pulled up that janky ass, sorry Lou, but this is the best. Pulled up that janky ass microwave. I was like, that fucker's from 1998.
Yeah. he's doing a series of I'm gonna make cocktails the weirdest way.
Yeah.
And now I didn't watch the full thing because whatever, but he microwaved the Negroni.
Oh, interesting.
And you saw the myriad of expressions, pile over his face, and he's just like, Yeah. This is good.
Yeah,
So
they'll
I was
do.
excited for the review.
Yeah. I can't wait till we go to Boston because that is so his family owned a Brazilian barbecue spot.
Okay.
And since he's Brazilian, and I can't wait to go out and try that because every time they post food, it looks fucking phenomenal.
Yep.
Looks great. But I digress. The story that I'm going to read today is from a Facebook group I'm in. I think you're in it too.
Okay.
The Bartenders meme group or whatever. So this is a group on Facebook where it's just a bunch of bartenders and we basically just give each other shit the entire time. It's basically just us to make fun of each other and just it's, when you hang out with friends, you have some drinks, you just talk mad shit. You don't give a fuck. This is basically what this group is about. So this is from, hold on, I got two stories to choose from. I'll do this one. This is from Gretchen from 3 days ago. And her caption is, so we have to tell people we cannot serve them. So she sent a screenshot of a text message between her, or I don't know if it's her, but a bartender and and the boss.
Ooh, I hope it's good. It must be good. If you brought it to the table, it must be good.
I hope so. So here's what the boss says. Excuse me. Please note, effective immediately, all tables are the responsibility of the waitress. This will include Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and any days and events that warrant a waitress to be scheduled. If a patron, because like Patreon, and
Yeah.
If a patron comes to the bar to order, please advise them that a waitress will be right with them. This has been approved by all trustees and bar manager. Feel free to text me separately with any concerns. I do not want to blow up everyone's phone. I will bring all the concerns to the trustees for any further discussion. I hope you have a great day. And then the following text message is, who is the bar manager?
It's so funny.
And then that's
I
it.
read
That is all that is. And we've kind of talked about something like this before.
Yes.
One of the stories was a group of people, there was like 50 of them, and the server wasn't getting to them fast at time. And so a guest went to the bar to ask the bartender to make them a drink, and the bartender made them that drink. And there was this huge argument that the server got mad at them. I think that was how the story went, if I remember correctly. But
that was a discussion we had with somebody while we were drinking at a bar. I think. Yes.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. The person who posted this is confused that they have to tell people that they can't serve them when they come up to the bar if they belong to a table.
No, it was, so we all have to tell people, we cannot serve them. Laugh emoji, laugh emoji, laugh emoji, laugh emoji. She's making fun of the statement saying that if people come to the bar asking for a drink, we tell them to go back to your table. Your server will be right with you.
The bartender cannot serve the patrons.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I,
Yep. Okay.
But you asked if they're confused. They're not confused. They're
so
making fun of
they're making fun of
the
it.
statement.
And the staff is confused as in who's the bar manager.
Right.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm confused as to why that's something to laugh about. Like that
Everything on
seems
this
like a
page
policy.
enrages me.
Yeah, it is a very frustrating.
I'm like, I'm jumping out of this group any minute.
But then
That just seems like a policy. Like that's
Sure.
and it's a policy that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if someone comes up to your bar, you're going to tell them to go back to their seat and wait 3 more minutes for a drink. You can make them that drink, and then you could put that on their tab. Correct.
Then they could get tipped out for it.
Right. Or you can
appropriately.
Right. So they go. Okay. So then the discussion goes into why did they put Tuesdays? Tuesdays are usually slow in bars and restaurants. So they're saying they're going to hire staff, waitresses, just to serve a couple of tables when a bartender could handle that table by themselves. So there's a possibility that they're taking away from bartenders who could serve tables, but they want an actual cocktail server serving
I
them.
don't think I have enough information about this story or this specific bar to make a judgment on whether or not the bartender is being a dick for posting this or the management is being a dick for imposing the policy.
Okay, let's think about it this way then. No matter if we're busy or not, if someone comes ask for a drink, why would you not make them that drink? If they're part of a table or not, why would you stop from making them a drink?
I wouldn't stop from making them a drink, but if the policy is that they need to order it with their server then it's going to be on you, the bartender, to communicate with the server that they need to go touch their table, or B, that they're having people come up to the bar and order something, and this is what they need to put on the tab.
But why does the guest have to feel the punishment of the server not doing their job correctly?
That's a management problem. That's not your job to, as you always say, that is not your job to police. That is the manager's job to police.
But my job.
So if the server isn't doing their job per policy, then that's not your problem.
I understand, but isn't the bartender's job to provide the best guest experience possible? So if someone wants a drink, you can make them that drink.
But that's not your job to. We have had this discussion in reverse. That's not your job to decide. That's management.
And the punchline of the of the story is, who's the manager? Who's the bar manager?
Right.
There's no one to reference.
Right.
There's no one to look forward, look towards to lead them, because it just seems like, it sounds like it's chaos. And just like every other situation where people come to bitch, it's usually chaos.
Right.
And upper management, who usually doesn't have their fingers in the honey hole, doesn't have any idea how things are run or how things work and operate.
And that was the other thing too. A board of trustees and the bar manager decided this.
Yeah.
And someone goes, who are trustees?
Yeah.
And I remember a comment, a bunch of assholes that don't know what the fuck they're doing or don't work in the industry.
Yeah.
So people who aren't in the weeds and understand how this works, they're saying that that they're making decisions for you, how to do your job. That don't know how to do your job.
It's basically creating it's different. It's dividing the server and the bartender. So now we have the frustration there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then you've got no one to go to for your frustration.
Right.
And everything just kind of falls apart after that. And I'm guessing, corporations usually have something in place, or, policy in place where it's very strict and no one's making money in that circumstance. But at this, I would think if they did this right, people would come in and they would know that they sit at their table and that the patron will be taken care of by a server, period. Don't go to the bar. You're not going up to the bar, period. You're not, unless are they saying the people who are sitting at the bar can order food?
They didn't say anything.
They didn't say that.
But
one would assume that in this situation, that if you're sitting at the bar, then the bartender is going to take care of you.
Yeah.
But like if people from tables are coming up to the bar to order drinks, that's something that the management needs to address to the server who's not doing her job or their job. Yeah.
I would politely if I was the bartender, I would just politely say, hey, your server will take care of you. Please sit back down and wait for him.
I'll send your server over.
Yep.
You have to order with her. I'm sorry.
Yep.
That's
just the way it is, the policy of the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem like if management is a joke, then I can see how that this would be taken the way that it appears to have been posted. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if that's policy, it's policy. Yeah. It's not your job to decide.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting, though, that they say this will include Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Yeah.
Like, why? Yeah. Why those 3 specific days that you have to tell them that?
Maybe they have other things going on that are really important, like they do bingo on Tuesdays. I don't know. But something where it brings in a bigger crowd.
Right.
I think that was half the thing, too, is like, a fucking Tuesday. Like, no one's that busy on a Tuesday where a bartender can't take care of this or that, usually.
The Morocco on a Monday in Dubuque, Iowa is lit. Yeah. There's 100 cars in that parking lot. I'm always like,
well, there's only like 5 restaurants open on a Monday.
You're right. But they've cornered the market for supper club
Mondays.
Yeah, it's supper club Mondays. I want to get in on that.
Is that the bar where we sat at when they said that they don't serve us at the bar?
No.
That bar's a free
That's Mario's.
Oh,
we can't eat.
You can on a slow night there.
You can't eat at the bar.
I have. I wonder if it's been.
We went there like 6 months ago.
Is it Mario or Marcos?
Which one's the by Taco
Marcos,
John's?
you cannot.
Marcos. Yeah. It's that one then.
Yeah.
So we sat at the bar. It was dead as fuck. And we started ordering food and like, you can't eat at the bar. Like, what the fuck, man?
I hope they said it just like that. You can't eat at the bar.
Well, it was a new person. She was trying to take her order. Yep. And then the experienced bartender that fucking seemed like she hates her job, but she's just there because it's easy money. It was like, we do not serve. I don't know what.
We don't serve food at the bar.
She doesn't have any other skills at this point. It's been 30 years. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. She knows exactly. I'm going to make $187 tonight. Not $1 more or less.
Yep.
And she thinks getting 18% is like being a good bartender or be server or whatever in the locals lover. Yeah. Right. Because, oh my God.
18% for her is good.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was so funny because that same night, there was a group of about 7 older ladies sitting at a table, and they were trying to nickel and dime the entire bill. We could hear them like, why do we get charged for this? Why do we get charged for that?
They were bad. They got charged 50 cents for bread.
Yeah.
When I went to Oolong last, sorry to name drop, I am going to drop that. Too late. I got charged for to-go silverware, and I was like, for real? Come on. Okay, fine. I succumb. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, they always ask me, do you need to go? I'm like, I'm taking this home. I have plenty of silverware at home.
I've learned.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, we were super off topic now. But anyways, I guess I just find it interesting because like all stories on here, there's not a lot of context. We're taking this one little paragraph or 3 paragraphs, I guess, and trying to decipher what the fuck is going on.
And the comment section is just chaos.
Oh, it's chaos.
I would equivalent this to being like at Champs in Dubuque. Champs Americana, or what's it called now?
It was Old Chicago. It's Old Chicago.
Oh,
Okay. That's what I would think. If I was sitting at a table and I ran to the bar, they'd be like, are you at a table?
Yeah.
I would say yes. And they'd be like, okay, we'll send over your server. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
To me, this seems like a poorly run business.
Yeah.
Trying to institute policy that makes them better run, but not doing it the correct way. But I mean, the policy itself doesn't seem, it seems valid.
Mm-hmm.
And that if that's the case, probably from an institutional standpoint, the way I look at this is they know one of their servers is shit, but they need a way to write her up. They need to justify discipline.
There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, they have to prove that she's not taking the tickets that she or taking the tabs or the orders that she needs to take. She's spending too long on her phone. She's taking too many breaks, blah, 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 blah. She's not providing customer service. So they need to find a way to write her up and fire her.
And as soon as she's fired, everything goes back to normal.
Right. Probably. I've seen it.
Obsolete.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah. Tricky.
I'm just one of those people. If someone comes at the bar, they want a drink, I'm going to make them the drink.
Yeah.
I'm also one of those bartenders. I don't feel like I have to ring them out because I want that $1 tip. I don't give a fuck at the end of the day, right? If it's just one drink. Now, if they come in and order like fucking 10 shots, I'm fucking ringing you up.
Right.
6 Busch Lights and everything. Right.
Because in my mind, it's no different than like, let's say you came in with 6 people, you start at the bar to have just one drink, and then you move to a table. And then they ask you, can we transfer it or not? It's the same thing in my opinion. Because they know they're gonna go sit down. They could go sit down right now, but they choose to come to the bar for whatever, to just hang out and relax. So I'm just gonna make them that drink, and I'm like, do you want to cash out or do you want to put it on your tab?
Right.
Whatever you want. I don't fucking care. Let's go.
And I'll be, it's Wednesday.
Right. Right.
It's fine.
But I don't know. I guess it's more funny if I brought up all the comments and we start reading the fucking comments because
people just lose their skulls. Like they can't handle it.
Yeah.
And I'll skim it and I'll be like, so much to say.
It is so funny though, too. Like, I come from a cocktail background. Like the diviest bar I worked at is Seven Hills, and that's not a dive bar. Right. That's what I tell people.
Ooh, so is this on your list, Jess?
That's not true at all.
What are you talking about?
Catfish Charlie's.
Fight.
Didn't work at Catfish.
Not Catfish. What was the one in Shoeyville?
Oh my God. I do not count that as a bar.
You worked there. That was the definition of a dive bar.
It was a restaurant.
How long were you there?
Dive restaurant. Fine.
Like 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
It was still a dive. It was in the middle of nowhere.
That's true. I forget I worked there because it was horrible. But I do have one of the best stories from there.
Created a big cavern in your brain cell. You're like,
I have 2 great stories from there. One time, me and the server got into it because I wasn't making her drinks fast enough. I go, they're up before you even get back.
Andale.
And her and I just get into it all the time. And she had to tip me out. And there was one, she owed me like $1.80 or something so stupid. And I told her, you fucking owe me $1.80. She goes, I'm not paying you shit.
Is that for the entire shift? Because that is the way it works for people who don't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like measly.
It's more the principle than it is the dollar.
It is.
It's because like if I let you get away with $1.80, then you're gonna get away with $5. Then you're gonna try with $6.
Yeah, whatever the case. Yeah.
And I don't need $1.80. It's the principle. And I just remember I went out. I don't remember why, but I had change in my hand. Oh, I probably had like $1. I probably grabbed like $1.75 in change. And I fucking just threw it at her. It didn't hit her. She was far enough away into her car and stuff. I go, you fucking need this more than I do. And just threw it at her. And then her mom came in the next day.
Oh my.
And I go, let your fucking adult child handle her own fucking problems and tell her to grow the fuck up.
Shoeyville. I want to take a road trip and go to the Goodwill there now.
No, there's no Goodwill there.
Oh,
It's so
shit.
small.
Do you know where Cedar Ridge Winery is?
I
Solon?
do.
So it's the other town across the highway that's smaller than that. There's nothing in that town
There's
except for 2 bars.
literally nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I thought it was a lot farther away than that.
No, it's just south of Cedar Rapids.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So we could literally make a day trip over there and go there. But
It
yeah.
might,
But it sounds
Good
like
Luck Charlie's is what it was called.
Good luck, Charlie.
No, that's the name of a Disney.
No, that's
show.
what it was.
Good luck,
No. Good Time Charlie?
Good Time
Chuck.
Charlie's.
Good time, Charlie.
That was what it
Yeah.
was.
But
basically a Bennigan's.
No.
Oh, okay.
It
No,
was
it's like a roadhouse.
Oh, okay.
Like a motorcycle.
yeah.
Oh,
It was in the middle of nowhere, just
Yeah.
whatever. But I always
Like
forget I worked there.
a small town tavern.
Yeah.
what was their claim to fame?
Nothing.
Nothing.
That's great.
The
They
bar
had-
next
they
to
had
him was
pizza.
the bar next to him was the claim to fame, and they burned down too.
And that was called Shoey's. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Okay.
there's probably really no asshole in the story because we don't know all the other details. And so I guess you could call the person who wrote the text message and saying our trustees
Yes.
wrote this
I
rule.
wouldn't even consider them an asshole. That's just a fucking messenger. Don't shoot them.
Yeah,
Like the asshole is whoever made this policy necessary.
that's true. I
I'm
agree
out
with them.
loud laughing at the fact that there is no bar manager. There's no leader in the bar management system.
Right.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Right.
there's policy, and sometimes it's all you need.
Right.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember in this post, I go, because they cut off the number, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, what's their number? I have some issues with this statement, ... You know, I want to get a hold of them to let them know. But
Trip.
again, this woman who posted, she probably may saw this as a screenshot from some other conversation or who knows, but whatever. Okay. So this is going to be a weird score. So again, the scoring system is 1 through 5. 1 being average story through your eyes, not the general person, but your specific eyes. 5 being unique situation. So I guess at the end of the day, how we're looking at the story is how many times have you got random text messages from your boss about some random fucking policy that you don't agree with?
1. This is a 1
Yeah.
every fucking day.
With you, yes.
Well, that, and I mean, in the restaurant industry, like
Yeah.
this sounds like a very common occurrence where a server isn't taking orders, isn't doing their job.
Mhm.
They're having people come up to the bar to order drinks, and the bartender is making their drinks, and then the server is complaining because she's not getting as many tips because the bar made the drinks, blah, 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 whatever.
So scale of 1 to 5, or wait, scale of 1 to 10 on
1 to 5.
1 to 5 on how fascinating I found this story.
Like how wild do you think it is?
or how
like,
unique the story is too.
Is the story just like run of the mill every day 1, or is it something you've never heard?
It's
5?
definitely a 1 and boring, and I find everything related to corporations boring.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with that. So, okay, so I was thinking more about this on why maybe they became the policy.
Okay.
Sitting here thinking about it. Maybe the bartenders used to make the drinks for the people, but they never got rang in. Either they didn't, or either the server didn't ring them in
Mm-hmm.
because like, hey, you know, Tracy, I need you to ring in this and this. I made this for that guy. Oh,
Right.
okay. Never rings them in.
Right.
You know, or, you know, maybe that's maybe why they're doing this policy now, because things aren't getting accounted for when they're being made,
Which is possible.
which is possible.
Yeah.
I also see the weak link with no bar manager, and now you've got waitresses against, or I'm sorry, waiters, servers.
Servers versus bartenders, the classic.
Yes. And so everyone's just against each other,
Uh-huh.
and there's no one saying this is the policy, with the exception of the people they do not see.
Right.
Right.
And that's the real frustration.
Right.
And that sucks because we're in a hospitality industry. Like servers and bartenders are fucking like brothers and sisters.
It's all fine when they leave and have their shot or whatever. They come over to the
Right.
bar at the end of the night, I'm
Right.
sure, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it sounds like somebody was complaining because they weren't getting tipped enough, and now they have to have a policy.
Mhm.
But then the person who's complaining is probably not taking very good care of their tables and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we all in agreement that this is a 1?
Yep.
One.
Absolutely. It's been a while. I don't think we've ever had a all agreement one
Unanimous.
story. So if you have a story like this, which is unusual or maybe different, we'd love to hear it. Even if it's a 1, we'd love to hear it.
If you hear this and this was your your restaurant, please provide me more information because this just seems like people being catty for the sake of being catty.
Mm-hmm. But also, again, with this group, people put semi shit and just stirs the fucking pot.
That's why I can barely read some of this shit. I don't like to read stirred pots.
But I think I was trying to say earlier
read it anyway.
Is what before we started dive bar thing is I more or less come back from a cocktail world. So like seeing how different bartenders in different environments handle situations or what situations are presented to them because they're in certain different types of bars. Not saying ones are better or different, just different.
Yeah.
Or different parts of the country. That is like South handle things completely different.
Right.
Again, it's not bad or good. I'm just saying it's completely different than I would handle situations.
What will they allow before their time is up there?
Right. But like the whole story is starting from the comment. So we're supposed to tell people we can't serve them with the crying, laughing face emojis. My agency has gone through some big changes over the past few months and people have been complaining about these changes and, oh, we're supposed to do this and this and this now. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You're supposed to do it. Just fucking do it. Shut the fuck up and just do it.
Sign
it's your
off.
job. It's your job.
Yeah.
Do your job.
I like that. It's almost like just a motto at this point. I would like to wear a shirt like tattooed across my eyebrow.
Do your job.
Do your job.
It's your fucking
Just
job.
do your
do
job.
it.
Yeah.
But that's not my job. I'm not going to help you.
Yes, it's your job to tell
On
people.
this eyebrow, it says, this isn't my job.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever eyelets you wink at them. So it's not me. Okay. Do your job. But
It's your fucking job.
if you want to share the story, we do have a subreddit called Do You Want to Start a Tab? The link for that subreddit is in the description of any podcast you're listening to this on.
Yes.
Is that a good way to explain that?
Yes, that's much better.
Perfect. And then if you do not like to write your stories, you can leave us up to a 3-minute voicemail, 563-277-0072. And we are going to take a union break and make some margaritas.
Love it.
All right. So we are back with some margaritas with the tequila that you made. Cheers, ladies. So I thought I made them stronger. I did 2 ounces tequila, 1/2 ounce Contro, 3/4 lime, 3/4 simple.
Use lemon.
Yes.
Lemon, that's correct, because we don't have lime juice right now.
It's upstairs. I literally made super juice.
You made lemon juice.
Oh, you're right.
That's why. So
No, this is delightful.
it's different, but it's good.
It's really great. It's very fresh.
I mean, we've made margaritas with lemon juice, and I think they're just as good and book, just as good as lime, but lime is, so anyways. All right, Miss Nacole, it is your turn. What story do you got popping for us today?
Okay. So like I was saying earlier before the cameras were rolling, I was like, I'm going to go tonight. And am I nervous? Yeah, of course. A little bit nervous. What am I going to say? What am I going to say?
That's why we make drinks for everyone.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like, I'm so much safer behind the bar, behind some sort of like business facade than I am just being like my own social self, or it's like, now what do I do? But aforementioned environment that I managed before I managed here was this very new business. I worked for an investment company who had like 12 or 15 ownerships, they all had a portion in it. And then we had a general manager who, gotta love him, who I'm working alongside, who is highly controversial. Like I said, God love him, he is my friend. Highly controversial man. Just at any given moment, you just don't know what's gonna pop off. Like it's just, there are no fucking rules. Even though we hold this shit together. Anyway, cat hair is just flying through the air. So I was there, this is like, we're like 10 months into it probably. And we have live music one night. I'm behind the bar. We had 3 or 4 servers who had phased out. It's probably 11:30, 12 at night. It's in the Millwork district. It's in a building where there's apartment complexes upstairs and like, they're all fancy and it's, it's high dollar apartments. And, the place is supposed to be quiet hours after 11. And we had live music going still and things are just pumping. And I'm feeling like we're all having a great time, but I'm obviously aware that people are intoxicated and this and that. And you don't know when people come in how intoxicated they are.
Right.
You don't. It's your job to be serve safe and all these things and to be on your best, awareness of how intoxicated someone is. But it's, You don't know if they slammed 4 shots in the car before they walked through the door.
Right.
You don't know when they're going to tip their scale. You have no idea.
Did they just do a bunch of coke in the bathroom and then they came out to your bar?
Which usually sobers people up, and I feel a little more comfortable with that even sometimes. To be honest, I'm like, go get your medic and come back. I don't want to be responsible for you until then. Our industry is wild, right? So anyway, we've got live music, and then we've got, and I'm just going to call you out, Robert. We've got Robert, who's also management there at the time, very dear friend of mine, just a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
And he has some friends in there, and the guys are just, and then we've got some of the investors there who are also wild cards, and everybody's drinking. So we have one guy pass out, live music going, it's past quiet hours, things are elevating, and I'm like, it's my job right now to keep everything reined in. I'm the mother of this entire ship. This is just chaos. I can feel it brewing. Anyway, they can't get the drunk guy into a cab because then you've got legality issues, this and that. And we had this den off the bar, and it has curtains. It doesn't have curtains on the interior, but it has a fireplace and it has several comfy couches.
Right.
They escort that guy in there and they lay him down. We forget about him, right? So everybody's forgotten about him except for the motherfucker with the magic marker. He goes in, he's got now a mustache. And
Well, he got the shoes on, right? If you pass out with your shoes on, you might go marker.
Right. So now they got his shirt up and he's got smiley faces on his gut. And like, it's just like, well, so now I forgot about that guy. But now it's probably 45 minutes to an hour later. Who knows? Time is an illusion. So we've got the music still pumping. We're serving a full bar.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 1 or 2, waitresses are still flying around serving the tables. And there's a guy walking towards me, and he's actually a patron of mine now. He's one of my owners. His girlfriend's one of their best friends.
Okay.
And I love them. And he's reined it in. But he's wobbling towards me, and he wants another Jim Beam. And I'm like, this is that time I have to say absolutely no.
Right.
But instead, he starts dancing, and it's fun. And I don't know what happens, but that motherfucker hits the ground.
Oh, my God.
And he hits his head on the table as he goes down. He slices his head open. And we're like, okay, people are rushing to help him. Everybody's drunk. I'm on the other side of the bar. I'm the only manager on duty. And, people are putting napkins on his head, and we're calling 911, basically. The music is still playing. The drunk guy is still on the couch in the other room with the curtain pulled, fucking marker shit drawn on his belly and whatnot. And I'm just thinking, this is chaos.
Right.
And so we have the police come, and we have the ambulance come. The music does stop.
Yeah.
And the girlfriend, is there by his side, and they concuss him. They wound him, like batter his wounds, whatever the case is, like bandage his wounds.
Right.
And they escort him out on a stretcher. Music starts playing again. But what I realized is these 4 or 5 police officers who are wandering through everything, watching the, looking for, I don't know what they had to be there, period. I don't even know. But I do know that in all the chaos and the high capacity, they did not notice the drunk guy completely passed out on the couch. They didn't notice that, we had to, no one was cleaning up blood with the right attire.
PPE.
Yeah.
Right.
And
bar napkins. Let's get this up.
I was like, where do these rags go? We had to put them in a garbage bag and throw them away. And people were still, it just went on as usual. And that was and I'm just thinking, I'm doing everything possible except for shutting everything down because I have Robert there. I mean, and all of his friends who are investors, I have to do what they say. I mean, that's how I felt because I'm not going to look at 5 guys and be like, we need to close.
Yeah.
We need to close this bar right now. And the show went on. The police left. So 45 minutes later, the stretcher goes out. The blood's cleaned up. The music starts back up again. It's now 1:30, 1:45. People are still getting hammered and fucked up. And I'm trying to I don't even at this point, I'm just doing my best.
Right.
I'm just doing my best. And then it was literally, I had probably said 1:45. Last call, music needs to end. Usually we're way down by now. Everything has to be off the bar by 2:00. You have to be, everything has to be done.
Right.
And it was just, the whole night was boom, boom, boom. But it was 1:59.
Oh my God.
And I'm screaming at this point. I'm enough is enough. You people leave, go to the office, go downstairs, go to your apartments, whatever the case is, go to your cars. I don't care. This is over. Drunk guy still passed out on the couch. Chaos, because that building, you could lock the exterior. you can lock the exterior doors and no one else can come in and the party can keep going,
Right.
Which it did on occasion.
Right. That's, at that point, it's a private party.
Yeah, it's a private party.
Different situation.
Which we did on occasion. So I guess here's the fun kicker of the whole thing. I had a jealous boyfriend at the time. And it's like 2 a.m. and I'm telling you what, I had done my best the entire night to keep everything. I wasn't even really, I probably had some shots, whatever, but I was
hurting cats.
I was really on my fucking game.
Right.
I was like, I am the person here that has to keep all this shit together. So I'm in the office at this point, counting money. It's like 2:20 in the morning. And the jealous boyfriend arrives at the office door with the police to say that I'm in the office having an affair or something. I don't even know. Like he made up, and I'm in there counting money, just thinking, get me out of here. Like just get me out of here, please. Right. So we still have the drunk guy on the couch. We still have people partying. We've got the music finally ended. Things are still dissipating. All the liquor has to be gone. All I remember thinking was, I can't do this long term.
Right.
I can't do this job long term. And I did it for another, 2 months and then gave it like a 2 or 3 month break, went back because I'm a glutton for punishment and then gave it another 6 months before. And then more things like that happened, but that one was really like, what else where's the threshold for no?
Right.
What is,
you're contemplating big life decisions at that point.
Right. Yeah. So, and the police officer, I invite him in, like I'm doing money. Like there's nothing crazy going on here. Like he has some issues right now and they're called insecurity issues and I'll deal with that later. And I'm sorry that you were called to whatever is going on here. And I looked at him and when the police left and because they were like, oh, we see, so you're just doing your job. I'm like,
right.
And he was like, I looked at him and I was like, I'll handle this later. Like, you need to leave. Like, and the police told him you stay away from her for like the night or whatever. And I was like, is this my life?
Right.
Like, is this, I think like things have really been brought, like I'm in a much different space now. I'm more mature. But holy shit, that was nuts. I don't even know what happened to the drunk guy on the couch. I have no idea. No idea.
Like we sit there till like 5 a.m. wakes
Probably.
up. Where the fuck am I?
I left. I was like, I'm not staying for this. I was like, this is on you, Robert. And
right. If the owners and the investment team are still there.
Yep.
That's not your problem.
This is your bar.
Yeah.
I'm fucking out of here.
I'm out of here. Yep.
Right.
And then the guy with the
you
concussion.
do not pay me enough to deal with this shit.
Right.
No, they actually pay me pretty damn well. But yeah, after that though, like, I don't know, music got chilled back. We had to rein things in. Things changed a little bit for a while. Some people were banned, which was always a joke there too. Because they ban, they come back in like jesters, like, oh, now I'm part of the entertainment, whatever the case is. But I do know the guy with the concussion, he has a scar.
So at this bar, basically all the tables in the bar area are high tops.
Yes.
High tops.
Yeah.
And they're all on top of each other. So like, it's not like he fell like 14 inches and just bam, hit a table. Like it's not like they're all high tops. So you're going to hit and they're all on top of each other. So he
probably hit a couple things on the way down.
I'm sure he did.
You hit every branch like ding, 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 ding.
And honestly, he's not that tall and he's a little bit heavy. So, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, criminy.
So it's a circus is what you're saying.
It's a fucking, we made reference to, I always say, there's a few bars that you can definitely call adult playgrounds. Yeah. And I manage one, but we also keep our composure. Like we're, I close the door too.
Well, yeah. I feel like all bars are adult playgrounds to some degree, but then there are the playgrounds that require parental supervision, and then there are the playgrounds that don't.
Just full abandoned. There's some that require parental supervision and they're just completely abandoned.
Right.
And I like to go to those bars. Those are my bars.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Like, I mean,
there are bars that require you to be a grown up, and there are bars that serve underage.
Oh, those are bullshit bars. Fuck those bars. Sorry.
Yeah. Heard.
Yeah.
Those are just volume bars.
Yeah. With shitty shots.
Yeah.
But I feel like that bar falls somewhere in between, but closer to the party bar.
The one that we were talking, the aforementioned.
The aforementioned one that you worked at.
That we named.
Yeah, right.
Voldemort.
Yeah. The millwork bar that shall not be named. Yeah.
So it's funny is because that bar we took over the spot right next to that bar. Yeah. And so so it's a ballroom at event center. and we read their amenities. Like, what did they advertise as their amenities? And one of the amenities was we provide crowd control. What the fuck? At an event center, you have to provide crowd control? And so we all laughed at that.
Why would they even say that? Just to, it's called smoke and mirrors.
Because people
who go to that bar try to
go to the party because it's a DJ.
The party.
They're trying.
Yeah.
So they're getting drunk, and they're like, "That's why." And
all they do is like that interior courtyard door. That's all they do.
Yeah, it's so funny that I've never heard it as a entity as being crowd control.
It's just a key.
Yeah.
That building is beautiful and I love it. I honor it. I worship it like a goddamn temple. I really do. I've had great times in that building and I will continue to go back there.
Yeah.
It's funny how, I don't know if funny is the right word to say, but it's interesting how many things have been in and out of that bar. Like, I remember there was a bar, what's it called? The Iron.
The Iron Bar was previous to where we were.
Right. They were trying to make it into a cocktail bar. And I remember going there. Did you work there?
Well, Max headed it for a while and it ran really well when he was there as a cocktail bar.
But there was someone else. Then when it was there.
After that he left, it was like 4 managers of like.
Yeah. Because I remember I go there.
Throw the cards up in the air and see where they land.
And there was classic cocktails and I would order like, this fucking thing sucks.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, there's no way this thing can be so. And then someone's like, you're just pretentious. I'm like, no.
It's a classic for a reason.
It's a classic for a reason. And when you fuck this up.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's rein it in. Let's go back to Nacole's story. I'm going to say ownership are the assholes in this story.
It wasn't me. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, because
you can only do so much as one person.
Right. But if your owners are in your bar and they see you in the weeds and beyond the weeds, you're in chaos at this point. They should care enough about their investment.
Yep.
To rein it in, at least.
But what if they're intoxicated?
And on other
They
things.
shouldn't be intoxicated in their establishment.
That is a good debate right there.
Yep.
Like, if you want to drink in your establishment, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
But you should not be too intoxicated to provide oversight.
Yeah.
It is not your personal playground. Even though you pay all the bills, you do all this, you do not get to go in there and do whatever the fuck you want because breaking laws and setting bad examples will only lead to worse business.
Right. And what it comes down to is if you are not respecting your establishment, who's going to?
Right.
And that comes down to being, self-aware. I mean, your ego, allowing your ego to run rampant in your environment sets the tone for the people around you. Yep. But it also is your reputation. If you have so much ego that your reputation doesn't matter, okay, you're on your own.
Right.
I mean, but if you're a humane person that has, a conscientious lifestyle that, has integrity, you should, and you have a slip up night.
Right.
We get it.
Right.
Right.
But when you operate that way, the threshold is dangerous.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine, like I hope to have my own bar in a couple months or whenever later this year. I could not imagine just sitting at my own bar and getting shit faced and letting my guests who come into my bar to enjoy themselves, seeing the person who's supposed to run this bar and own it completely off the chain.
Imagine you own a bar. Yeah. And you see a customer fall down, bust their head open. Yeah. The first thing through your mind should not be, oh, let me get another drink. The first thing through your mind is, fuck, that's a liability.
Right.
Right.
How did we get this far?
That is a hardcore liability.
I made it through that. I don't know. With the exception that I was truly this is under control. We've done everything we, all the A, B's, and C's have been checked, whatever the case is.
Right.
In retrospect, that was a fuck show. It was a fuck show that night, but
you had all the elements for a perfect storm, right? You had music. Music always provides this adrenaline, fun time. Right. Ooh, this is my song, and everything like that. And then obviously alcohol. And then you get the owner with other investors having a good time. They want to make sure all the guests are having time. So they're probably buying them shots. They're just going up to them and, putting themselves in conversations of other groups that they didn't really need to be there. They're just this is my place. Let's all have fun.
We were relatively new. Right. So, and we were consistently growing. So we were stretching, growing all the time there. It was really, and I think they've found their plateau or their baseline now, which is a good thing. I wouldn't say they have the greatest servers in the world, the greatest bartenders in the world at this point. They kind of say this because I really value and appreciate some of these people. But you know, like they're not striving for the greatest cocktail at this point.
Right.
They're striving to be a sports bar.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
I don't even know if they're doing that. I don't even know what they're doing. I don't know what their main point objective is.
Bar-y.
it wants to be a sports bar-y, but it wants to do other things. There's that identity crisis.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation we can have offline because it doesn't matter to this conversation.
Decor is cocktail bar. Atmosphere is sports bar.
Yep.
I tell people it's a mullet. It's a party up front and business in the back, because the back side of it where you have the leather.
Opposite.
Right. It's the opposite of a mullet. I don't know what the fuck that is, but
That's
a skullet.
Karen.
A Karen. But yeah, but like.
Shit. You're right.
Yeah. So again, this is gonna be another interesting story to rate because there's so many variables, like, but it's also like it's not that uncommon for owners to like it's what bar rescue makes bar rescue. Hold on. Bar rescue thrives on bars like this, where it's mismanaged. Owners come in and do whatever the fuck they want. Managers are trying to do what they can, but they're not empowered, or
They
they're
don't have the
authority, or their what's the other word when you come in and someone overrides you.
I will say this, for me, I was just female.
No.
That
yeah.
too. That
Sorry.
too.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
don't
But
be
also-
sorry. It's
but,
true.
I mean, in places like that, you either try to fight it, or there's this learned helplessness where it's
I
like
finessed it.
where it's like I can't change it,
Yeah.
so I just am gonna keep my head above water.
Yes.
So, yeah, but managing a place like that had to have been impossible.
Gurgle, gurgle, and finesse are basically the
Yeah,
equilibrium here.
right. Do what you can, but you can't do much.
Right. Yeah.
So
And it was fun too. Don't get me wrong. There was so much fun loving, so many good feelings going on there. The music was wonderful. The intentions were great. The fun parties were fun. You know,
Right.
It was great. But as far as running a business goes, man, did I learn a lot.
Yeah, what not to do.
right. So what are we gonna
Call
rate
out
this
John
story?
Taffer here really quick. John Taffer, what would you rate this story?
Yeah.
This is a one. I see this every fucking day. This is what I built my empire on.
Right.
Fuck.
I mean, just the addition of blood for me.
Okay.
That
Let's
when
say-
you add serious injury,
Yeah.
because that's a concussion that could lead to other things,
That could lead to your bar getting shut down because people overserved or people.
which is not specifically saying you, but
No.
just in general.
Oh, no. I
'Cause
was
like
part
you
of the
said-
whole shebang.
Right.
And I take accountability. And the man on the couch he didn't leave he was out of sight, but he wasn't out of my mind. I did go check on him several times.
Right.
I was very thankful the police didn't see him through the window.
Yeah.
Like, that was the biggest deal. It was like, Jesus Christ, like we've drawn on this man now. I
Right.
did check his pulse several times.
Right. Right. Yeah. And there's a fine line for how, like, adults are adults. You should be able to choose what you can do. But, like,
Yeah.
at some point, you need another adult to tell you, nah, man.
I was the only one.
Yeah.
I was the only one that night.
And that's wild.
Yeah.
And that's wild.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's your job.
Yeah.
Again, do your job. Your job is to not overserve people. Like, everybody gets overserved. Everybody overserves. But, like, there's a line, and you know where that line is. Don't cross it. And you didn't cross it. You told the guy he was cut off, and he still cracked his head open. But still.
You said that, and all I could see was him dancing. Boom. I was like, good Lord.
It's wild. Just wild. I'm going to say 3.2 because shitty management is not out of the norm. People being overserved and falling asleep and getting drawn on, falling down, cracking their heads open.
Not
I
common,
want
but
to
it
know what
happens.
story
Not
tops
common,
that
but it
one,
happens.
Yes. Okay, cool. I want to work. I know everyone experienced anything worse than that, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's not always necessarily bad. It could be good. Like, hey, management or ownership actually took care of the situation. That'd have been a 5.
Right.
Okay.
But no, I think
Like if
3.2.
first said son went around, you know what, guys, we're going to shut this down. I don't want to lose my bar.
Right.
Right. Because that would have been responsible. And if you've learned anything from working in the industry, you know that people aren't that for the most part.
So what are you trying to tell me that alcohol makes people do irresponsible things?
Yes.
Bullshit.
He just called bullshit on you. What's
Do we want to look at your rap sheet?
Oh!
You have a printer long enough to print all that shit off. You got one of those like line printers.
I just snorted and I haven't snorted in a long time.
That's the second time today.
It is?
Oh, you did it. You did it while we're off camera. You did it too. I was gonna make fun of you for it.
I wasn't even paying attention. Self-awareness is not my strong point.
But see, like in my mind, because I worked there for one day. Didn't come back.
You were one of those like in between 5 managers between Max and I.
Yeah. But also, I was also in the middle of applying for the Riverboat Lounge and they offered me the job. I'm like, well, I'm going to go there.
No,
because
that was after I left as manager.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm going to give this a 2-2 because I've been in more scenarios than Riley has in the bar industry. I've seen more shit like this. And I've been a part of those after parties of things getting locked down. Like, let's party and let's go overboard.
Yeah.
So,
Everything happened that night before we were locked down, except for the cops coming because my ex-boyfriend was a weirdo.
that's
and that's why I got the extra. That's why I got the extra 1 point for me is because like your night wasn't done.
No, and I probably didn't just naturally fall asleep until like 4:45 a.m. You know what I mean? Like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I love this industry. I'm addicted.
It is a weird fucking addiction for sure. Like, I'm not saying you have to be addicted to drugs or alcohol, but just the addiction, like the adrenaline and like the chaos and yeah. That's why I like pain.
So I get to rate my own story.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Well, I brought this story to the table thinking it was a wild one. Do I have other stories? Yeah. I'm going to give this one a 4.2.
Okay.
I think this one's special to me. I thought it was fucking crazy.
It is fucking crazy, and there's no doubt about that.
What I'm going to do is this is not to like tell you, because again, this is through your eyes and what you want to rate the story through the eyes that you've seen and not seen. I'm gonna throw you a couple of our podcasts where we feel the stories are more fucking crazier outlandish. And if you agree, cool. If you don't, that's this is all what we perceive.
I have not watched them all.
No,
I've dabbled in a few.
Do you know how many times we'll fucking start reading the story and like one paragraph in? I think I've already read this story before. Yeah. So it's all good.
Yeah.
We don't expect everyone to listen to every episode.
More life experiences. Bring it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's wild because you get like we've gotten stories from people who live in Florida.
Oh, okay, that's a whole different caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not even.
There's one gentleman decided he got too fucked up on multiple substances and got kicked out of a bar, and he had Sharpies marked on his hand.
Oh.
So said this guy's not allowed anymore.
All kinds of shit now.
Yeah. And then he decided to lick the Sharpie off of his hands, trying to get back into the bar. But he Sharpie all over his face. So he couldn't get
He didn't have Sharpies on his hands more so he could get in. He got in, but then they instantly knew it was him because the Sharpie was
all over his face.
What a whack job.
But the whole story leading up to that is
what a clown.
Yeah.
And I hung out with him last summer for 2 days. It was great.
Sorry, bro.
No, he's great. He knows it. He told us the story, so he's great.
Good.
Yeah.
But all I gotta say is
Sharpie doesn't come off, does it? Like you have to really smear it all over your face.
exactly. That's the whole thing. Exactly.
Jesus Christ!
Can you imagine,
Go home.
Right.
Come on. You tell me you've never been that fucked up. You're heels deep. Yeah, exactly. Just don't be a dick. Tip your bartenders.
A lot of things I've done.
And drink responsibly.
Yeah.